Hi guys, it's Erica, and I am back doing another tag video. Actually, this one really inspired me because one thing I really want for my channel is for you guys to know me personally and not just see videos of hauls or tips and tricks and those kinds of things. So one of the ways that I wanted to get my channel going a little bit more is to present more of myself. And I saw this on Everyday Dazzle, who I really like to watch. If you guys have not checked her out, check her out. She's great. A lot of cool tips, a lot of cool tricks, recipes, makeup tutorials, all sorts of things. And it's, again, Everyday Dazzle. And she did a tag called 50 Random Tags About, or 50 Random Facts About Me tag. And I wanted to do that today, and it's going to take a little time, so I hope you'll stay in and hear all 50. I spent some time, believe me, I was grasping for straws sometimes. But other ones are things I really would want you to know about me. So I hope you'll stick with me and watch the 50 facts. And I am not going to tag anyone specifically in this tag. However, I am going to ask that anyone who watches this, if you have a channel and you make videos, please do this tag because I would love to get to know you better. And you'll notice I'm still in the same outfit. I'm taping all in one day, a lot of things. I'm trying to get my time to tape because I am a mom and I get really busy. So I generally try to tape a lot in one day and then take a few days to just hang out with my guy. So anyway, let's get started. So 50 random facts about me. Number one is in second grade, we had to write a story for the Young Author program. And I wrote a story about being on the playground in the merry-go-round and turning into a spaceship and going to Mars. And I won Young Author of second grade. So that's the first one. The second one is when I was little, my mom bought me a tape recorder when I was 6 or 7 years old, and I ran a radio station out of my bedroom by recording myself on multiple Memorex cassette tapes. Yeah, because I'm in my 30s, so it's cassette tapes. And it was called ELK Radio, which is my initials before I got married. And I would play music, and I would talk about the bands, and I would do jokes in the middle of the music, and we still have several of these tapes, and they are funny. But anyway, I wanted to be a DJ so bad when I was little. Number 3, I used to have a window in my nose. And what that means, it's a medical condition that makes you have frequent nosebleeds. And I had them for years and years and years when I was growing up. And it was called a window because it opens up for some reason because of air pressure and makes you have a nosebleed. The doctor said that I could have it fixed by cauterizing or burning the inside of my nose. And my mom just chose not to do that because it sounded traumatizing. And I actually grew out of it years ago. But once in a while, I will have that window open and I'll have a horrendous nosebleed. So weird. Number 4, I won pretty much every spelling bee in every class I ever had growing up. And I was on Spell Bowl team. I am huge about spelling and grammar. Even in my Facebook statuses, I use capitalization, punctuation, grammar, and correct spelling. I really, really appreciate the English language, and I try not to slaughter it. Number 5, when I was in high school, I had a collection of 500 pairs of shoes, and I actually did my senior project on my collection of shoes. And a lot of them were Doc Martens. I was a huge Doc Marten fan. Again, let's not judge. I was 1997 and 1998, so they were big then. And I really liked all kinds of funky, different looking shoes. And I have gotten rid of a lot of them since then because they were not things I should wear in adulthood. Okay, number 6, the people that are my best friends, I've been friends with for over 20 years. My best friend is a guy, and we have been best friends since we were 15. So we're talking 18 years-ish. 19 years. So yeah, long time. My best girlfriends, I've been friends with since elementary school and high school. Basically, I really am big on longevity, and many of my friends I've been friends with since I was a child. So big on friendships. Number 7, I am a marriage and family therapist. However, I started out by studying elementary education, and I have a bachelor's in elementary ed as well as psychology. I really wanted to be a teacher, and I worked in the classroom, in the first grade classroom for 2 years. Loved teaching, still love teaching, have taught at the college level as well. However, my passion for mental illness is so much huger, so I just knew the way to go was psychology, but I still teach in that realm as well, and I do tutor and all sorts of things. Education is huge for me. Number 8, I have never burped in my entire life. I'm not able. For some reason, whatever mechanism in your body causes you to pull gas up through your mouth, I don't have it. I don't do it. Never have. My husband will attest to that. He's been with me 8 years and never heard it because it doesn't happen. My mom said even as a baby, she had a hard time burping me and would go to the doctor and ask, is she okay? Because she doesn't burp. And we just established that I just can't. So that's a weird fact, isn't it? Number 9, I have the ultimate cure for hiccups. I'm going to share it with you because I have shared it with everybody in my path since I knew about it. And they're always amazed that it works right away. So if you have hiccups, what you need to do is get a glass of water and put a paper towel. It has to be a paper towel. Put a paper towel over the top of the cup and drink through the water through the paper towel. I promise your hiccups will be gone. Try it out next time. I just wanted to share that with you. Number 10, I know my U.S. states in alphabetical order since the 4th grade. We had this song that we did in 4th grade, and I have continued to know it. So here you go. Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas and Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin, Wyoming. You're welcome. Yep, you couldn't have got through your day without that. Number 11, my husband. This is really not really about me, but it sort of is because it's about my husband. My husband was actually the first black tour guide for Grauman's Chinese Theater in Hollywood. That is where I met him. He was working at Grauman's Chinese Theater as a tour guide in Hollywood. I know, pretty neat fact. Number 12, I saw Anthony 1 year before meeting him. I went with my little sister. I was living in California and she flew out to visit me. And we went and did some of the touristy things in California, which one of them is the Grauman's Chinese Theater. And we went there and I saw this guy that was a tour guide there and I thought, whoo, he is, yeah. And I told my little sister, look at that guy. I should go talk to him. And she tried to encourage me and I didn't do it. And then a year later, I met my husband, Anthony, and he told me he was the first black tour guide for Grauman's Chinese Theater, which means it had to have been him. Yep, I saw him a year before and God put that plan in order. So, yay God. Number 13, I lived in California for 10 years. I moved to California when I was 22 to finish my bachelor's degree. And I loved it out there. And I was with a guy from California at the time. He had gone to college in Indiana and I moved out there and we were dating until I was 24. And then we broke up after 6 years. And I stayed in California for 2 years. I set out 2 years and worked. And then I started graduate school in 2006 right after meeting Anthony. And I stayed out there until 2011. I loved every minute of living in California, and I would still live there if it were more affordable and it was a better place to raise my kid. But I loved living there. Number 14, I was the graduation speaker at my commencement for my master's degree, and it's something I'm very proud of. The way my master's degree program chose that was the person who, I think it was academic as well as it was like emotional development. And I was really proud of that because I worked through a lot of past issues in my graduate degree and was able to speak on behalf of my class, which I really loved. And because later on in this list, you'll find out I'm not normally taken seriously, it was nice to be taken seriously. All right, number 15. After I graduated from my master's program in clinical psychology, I was asked to come back and teach cognitive behavioral psychology in that program 3 months later. Again, huge honor for me to be taken seriously in a field and just be able to be trusted by the professors who had just given me a degree. It was really fun. I loved teaching the graduate level in psych. Number 16, I have never broken a bone that really matters. Nothing that can be put in a cast. I've broke my tailbone by falling downstairs. I have broke my toe, my big toe, by kicking the toilet. Yeah, my sister was using hairspray. I was allergic to it. I sneezed and apparently my foot jabbed into the toilet and it broke it. And I have messed up my nose a little bit. And I think that's it. Oh, ribs. I was in a car accident and I broke some ribs, but nothing that could have a cast on it. Number 17, I had my son 2 months early, and he spent a whole month in the NICU. I had him at 8 months pregnant. As you all know, we go roughly 40 weeks. I had him at 32, 8 weeks early, and he was had to stay in the NICU for 3.5 weeks, almost a month. And it was one of the most grueling times of my life, but I'm so grateful. He has no health problems, and he's fantastic and really, really healthy. So yay for that. Number 18, I almost got married once before. I was with somebody for 6 years, and we were engaged, and we canceled the wedding one day before it. Now, you'll probably remember in a previous video that I talked about I didn't want a traditional wedding. That is why. I spent a year planning that wedding, and then to have it not happen was devastating. I was 21 years old at the time. We were together for 3 years at that time. We did stay together. However, we did not get married. Probably the wisest decision either one of us has ever made. However, it broke my heart. It caused me to hate weddings a whole lot. And then I married my husband in Las Vegas in 2008. And we are planning on renewing our vows at the 10-year mark. And I am going to go all out and have a wedding finally. So hopefully I can live my dream down the road. But for right now, I'm still a little anti-wedding. Ugh. All right. Number 19, I have been diagnosed as a diabetic for over 20 years. That has been really tough on me, but it's something that I've learned to be strong through and accept. So that is one of the facts about me that you've probably heard in other videos. It's a huge part of my identity, so I want you to know it. Number 20, I found a dead body in a cornfield once. I don't know how these traumatic things happened to me. I was driving home from Indiana State, where I used to go to school, and my mom was following me. We had 2 cars full of stuff because I had to move out of my dorm for the Christmas holidays. And I stopped on the side of the road to let her catch up, and my light shined upon something I thought was a person. I got out of the car, not sure that was the smartest move, and I found a body in the cornfield and had to call the police to come and get it. Yeah, no, that's traumatic. That's what that is. PTSD. That's what that causes. Don't find dead bodies if you can get away from it. All right. Number 21, I have been hit by a car. An actual physical car hit my physical body in a parking lot at a grocery store in California and caused road rash down one side of my body. I really believe that God has spared me so many times from death, as you have seen from this list. I don't know how I get into these situations. All right, 22. My first concert was Boyz II Men 2 tour, and I loved every minute of it, but I was in a car accident on the way home when I was 15 and broke an entire side of my ribs. Again, I don't know how these things happen to me, and I thank God for saving me a million times. All right, number 23, I have met several celebrities when I lived in California. Some of them are like a little older, so maybe some people wouldn't know them, but I have met Jamie Foxx, who I love. I have met Lionel Richie. I have met Vicki Lawrence from Mama's Family. She was at the LensCrafters with me. I lived in Newport Beach, California, where a lot of celebrities tend to live if they don't want to live in Hollywood or Beverly Hills. And then on top of it, my husband worked at Grauman, so he did a lot of the premieres for Hollywood movies. And on Hollywood Boulevard, you see quite a bit of those things, or the Hollywood Bowl. So yes, met quite a few celebrities, or seen quite a few celebrities in California. Actually driven on a tour by their houses and had them wave. Nicolas Cage, Keanu Reeves. It was a really cool time, and I enjoyed it. All right, number 24, I have green eyes. You probably can't ever tell my eye color because I wear glasses, but they are green, 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 green. And I love having green eyes because it's not the most common eye color. And my husband, when he was a kid, was in church, and a pastor talked to him about who he was going to marry one day and said something like, for some reason, I see you marrying someone with green eyes. And my husband had it in his mind his whole life that he was going to marry a girl with green eyes. And then I had green eyes. Crazy. All right, number 25. My feet have not grown since I was in junior high. I wear a 4 in kids. Yes, it makes my shoes so much cheaper. Yes, it means I have more shoes. And yes, it means they're cuter because they're smaller, but they're really small feet. I've always had really small feet. So sometimes adult shoes aren't made in that size. So that can be a little bit sticky, but yes, I have tiny feet. All right, and number 26, actually, let's stop there at 25, and let's do a part 2 to this video because there is 25 more facts about me, and I want to get this one uploading. So I hope that you'll check into the next one, 50 Random Facts About Me, part 2. All right, thanks, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.